Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And this afternoon it is Friday the 11th of May, at least I think it's Friday the 11th of May when I'm recording this. This will go out a few days later. I have with me once again Chandin Indoria with his most charming smile, all the way from India, although this is an Australian company, an Australian ICO, must point that out. Yes. And I also have with me Laurent Sales, who is one of the top names in the world of intellectual property. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Wipo Green and Kakushin Tech and Laurent and what he does and why he has chosen to become an advisor to Kakushin Tech. All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Rich. Hi, Chandan.
Hi.
Hello.
Now,
how are you?
I just want to say to people, this is the third time I'm featuring Chandan on the channel. Please do look at my previous videos, my interviews with him, including with Richard Eto and also with him on his own. And this could become the Crypto Rich and Chandan show channel very soon, right? Lauren, thank you so much for making yourself available. Do you just want to start by telling us a little bit about your, in a few short sentences, your professional background and what you do?
Yes, with pleasure. So I am 54, French by citizenship, and I am a former inventor myself through my past owned companies specialized in plastic injection and electronics sector. So based on my 20-year inventor experience,
yes,
and the obstacle course I had to go through, I developed a 10-step methodology to efficiently bring intellectual property to market. And I did this in 2004.
Right.
This 10-step method starts with the bibliography analysis and the added value calibration. And it ends by the financing, the team recruitment, and the follow-up. In between, I am involved, you have the client, the business model, which are at the center of the risk analysis. Since 2004, I am involved in cutting-edge technologies within the water, energy, and materials sectors as a private consultant at the global stage for any invention requiring between 2 and 20 million euros. So for me, an invention starts with an idea, a technical or a scientific article, a thesis, or a patent. Late 2016, I modestly became an advisor and board member of Wipo Green, which is a branch of the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is, as you know, based in Geneva.
Yes.
And we at Wipo Green, we created a web platform to match inventors, investors, and clients at early stage. As you know, early stage is the most difficult part of private equity in the sense that it is the riskiest one viewed from an investor's standpoint. Family, fool, and friends, they have already paid up a few thousands or tens of thousands, but more is now required. And no banker can follow up without 3 positive balance sheets. On the other side, there is no venture capitalist entering the game any longer. Their success rate at early stage having been less than 10%, they decided to disappear from early stage. So now, if you look at it from an investment standpoint, early stage is where the best leverages are. If the risk can be reduced to 0 or almost 0 for the investor. This is where we are with this 10-step method, which can stop at any step if we do not achieve it. But I will define a little bit later how this not only can, but must be achieved, for example, to save our planet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 10-step methodology that Mr. Rao has come up with, it not only saves your investment, but also the planet. So it's good for your pocket and it's good for your life as well.
Very good. Okay. Now, is it difficult to get a patent for an invention? What are the steps involved?
To get a patent, well, you need, first of all, you need a good patent attorney to write it. And first to understand it and then to write it, which you can find quite easily, patent agents according to the sector where the IP is.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it requires an analytical and technical and commercial and financial knowledge from the IP owner, leading to the elaboration of comprehensive presentation documents and a clear vision of the ecosystem. The third point is to keep in mind that a patent has a cost to file, to extend, and to defend.
Right.
So a budget for each patent must be very precisely calculated. And this is a task that most inventors forget to take into consideration. Now, the second part of your question is, can every IP be patented? I would say it cannot without a full vision of the existing and a calibrated added value. This is about 51% of the path to market. In some particular cases, a patent can be replaced by a trade secret, as you know, to keep the invention secret, as it says.
Yes.
By opposition to a patent, a trade secret is not written, not public, within X months of years, like a patent is. So, why opting for a trade secret? There are, in my opinion, two main reasons. One is because the IP owner has no money to protect and to defend his invention through a patent. And two, it might happen that the investors, the inventor's client refuses the disclosure. So if I am the client of the patent holder, I may tell him, look, I am ready to buy a license from you, but as long as you don't write anything about it.
Right.
So that way my market will be much better protected.
Okay. And then how does Kakushin come into all of this, and why are you taking on Kakushin? What do you see as the value in Kakushin?
Well, the value in Kakushin is it puts actually together through the appropriate big data use and algorithm. It puts together what we call the triumvirate in Latin words. So you have actually three parties which never meet. One is the market, one is the inventor, and the third one is the investor. And unless you have the appropriate bridging between these three parties, there is no chance that an invention will reach the market. So what Kakushin does is actually very good because, as we said, at early stage, you have little or no players doing this. And early stage is where the greatest inventions are.
Right.
So my contribution to Kakushin is actually to bring this 10-step method to guarantee that and to ensure that the investors will recuperate much more than what they injected at early stage 3, 5, 7 years later.
Okay, very good. So you've got this 10-step method. You're bringing that to Kakushin, and Kakushin bring inventors, investors, and the marketplace together. And hopefully the synergy of your 10-step method will bolster the success of what Kakushin are offering.
If we reach the 10th step, yes. But if we don't, we just shake hands with the inventors and they return home and we return home as well and everybody's happy too.
Okay.
But see, it's a waste of time to let inventors do their prototype during their weekends, vacations, during years, if they don't have the methodology to reach the market. So this is where we enter into the game. Okay. We basically take them by the hand and we tell them what to do next and how to do it with the appropriate method, taking into account that most inventors don't know what the client is, what the business model is, what an investor is, what a bank is.
Sure.
So we actually ease their task by taking on our side what they don't know to do.
Yeah. No, that makes complete. Sorry, Sandra. That makes complete sense to me. Somebody's come up with some really great invention. Doesn't necessarily mean they've got any idea of the marketplace or business strategy or what it takes to bring a product and make it real and make it successful. That I can understand. Yes. And has your process, your 10-step method, how effective has it been when you've applied it?
Well, so far, so good. Actually, I started about 20 years ago and we now specialize in, I can give you a few examples if you wish.
Please.
We specialize, as we said, at early stage, cutting edge, and dual technologies, dual for military and civilian applications, provided that these technologies are within the energy, the water, and the material sectors at global stage. So, as a few examples, I can give you optimization of heat transfer in industrial processing, optimization of water use in irrigation with an auto-degradable liquid mulch, pure hydrogen production on demand by water dissociation at 2200 Celsius for stationary and mobile applications, sustainable housing by wooden passive and anti-seismic rotating houses, diesel engines retrofit to electric motors on vessels.
Lauren, this is great. Lauren, this is great. Forgive me for interrupting you. Stop. Right? It's because a lot of what you're saying, it sounds really great, but I don't understand it, right? Because I'm not technical. But the one about so let me say about the one about a rotating house.
Yes.
So a house that turns, it's passive, so it actually it generates its own heat itself, and anti-seismic means that it's resistant to earthquakes.
Yes, exactly. We built some house like this in Taiwan during a typhoon with a wind at 280 kilometers an hour.
That's incredible.
And it could not move by 1 millimeter. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm sure the other ones that I didn't understand at all. Like I know something, if you can get hydrogen out of water, that's really useful. I know that much, right?
Well, if you look at the energy density in kilowatt hours per kilogram, You have the coal, which is at about 8.
Yeah.
You have diesel and gasoline. What you put in your car is at about 11 kilowatt hours per kilogram. And then you have hydrogen, which is at 39.6.
Wow.
So if you want to go to the next step, it is uranium. Uranium is radioactive. So it's very hard to believe, but we should have put water to move a car.
Yes.
Exactly.
It should have made much more sense because you have 4 times more energy density in hydrogen than in gasoline or diesel.
And without any of the environmental risk, because with hydrogen, with water and hydrogen, what you've got, the other product is oxygen. Is that right?
Yes. Well, you combine what you have at the exhaust pipe is water. You can put your glass at the exhaust pipe, fill it, and drink it if you like water.
Okay, very good. Which could be very good in dry parts of the world. Okay, so these are some of the inventions that you've used that you've supported with your 10-step program. You're bringing that to Kakushin.tech, which is a whole ecosystem to bring inventors with investors and to the marketplace, combining all 3. Okay, I like the sound of that because then Kakushin would benefit from the patenting process. No, Chandan is itching to say something. Bolo mera bhai. That means speak, my brother.
Yeah. See, what I wanted to add to what Mr. Laurent has to explain about everything and his 10 steps, apart from what he is bringing to the organization as an asset and as one of the most experienced and seasoned advisors into our organization, Kakushin ecosystem in terms of blockchain has another 9 steps that we have to follow.
Right.
I mean, as Mr. Laurent mentioned, that not everything and not every idea can be patented. And I have mentioned it in my past 2 interviews as well.
Yes.
That now it is our trade secret how to protect your intellectual property, which may or may not be patented and cannot be made public through the hyperledger that we are developing. So even though you cannot have a patent done for your intellectual property, but we have 9 steps program that we are following through based on the hyperledger technology to keep your trade secret a secret, but it is evident enough so nobody else can copy it or claim that it was their idea. So you know it's a heaven. It's a match made in heaven. You know, blockchain carries the intellectual property expert, and we got Kakushin.
That's very, very good. I can see the value that both are bringing to each other. You, Laurent, and Kakushin.tech. Great. Okay. Is there anything else you want to let us know that you'll be bringing to it? I mean, one of the things is it says on the Kakushin website, it talks about an ecosystem. Now, is that from the elements of the inventor, the investors, and the marketplace, or is there some other elements as well to the ecosystem?
Well, maybe I should let Chandan reply to what he means by ecosystem. To me, it is all the value chain between the invention and the market. But Chandan, you add some words about this.
Yes, the reason why we call it an ecosystem because it is a unique, comprehensive Hyperledger-based, platform where we work from inception to the consumption of the product. So what we are doing is we are solving the ever-existing problem of identification, application, searching, sort, management, monetization of an intellectual property. You know, the ownership of an idea and a license to use that idea worldwide is an ever-existing problem. And no matter how big organizations you might name, but they are working in chunks, They are working on a certain area of it. The reason why we call ourselves ecosystem is because we have expertise and advisors like Mr. Laurent, who help us to understand how to develop an idea into an intellectual property, if that can be patented or not. If it can be patented, what are the steps? If it cannot be patented, what are the steps to convert that idea into a product or a service, get the financing up and running, get that product out of the prototype, be a final product that can be consumed either in business to business model or business to consumer model. And no other organization or a company is doing that, according to our knowledge.
Right.
This is the reason why we call ourselves ecosystem.
Very good, very good, very good. Thank you. And I put my I put my finger to my lips because my daughter, she just came into the room. I didn't put a sign outside.
Rich, maybe we could have started by this. I would like to give you a picture,
please,
of the intellectual property rights and
yes,
why they are important, whatever they are, patent or trade secrets. If you look at last year, there were 3.5 million patents.
3.5 million.
Okay.
And the trend was plus 8% compared to the previous year. That is for patents only. Now, if you look at trademarks, industrial designs, utility models, we are talking about 14 million applications last year. And if you look at the last section, which is the plant varieties, we are talking about 18,000 new plant varieties last year. So wow, this is to give you the magnitude of the playground, of the existing playground, and to explain as well why it is crucial to raise funds and to ensure a protection from copiers and infringers to the value chain. And the value chain for me, my ecosystem is composed by inventors, investors, and users at large, from the industry to the end user.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Now I can get from that. I had no idea about the enormity of intellectual property. I certainly get the value of intellectual property, because if, for example, Apple didn't protect their intellectual property, we'd have iPhones and copies of iPhones all over the place, and there'd be no wealth for them. Go on,
I would add on this what you said, and please correct me, Mr. Laurent, if I'm wrong at it. Somebody told me who was a patent attorney, and he told me a secret, not a secret, but a less known fact, that the reason why Apple is manufacturing iPhones in China and not manufacturing it in USA, it's not because of the money is not the only reason, not just the manufacturing cost, because if they have the manufacturing license in China, no other company can duplicate or make copies of iPhone. So iPhone is designed in USA, where it has the intellectual property and the patent for designing and the components put into the phone, and then they are manufactured in China. So both ways they are very safe. So nobody can make a copy of the concept, and nobody can manufacture in China. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Wow, that's very smart. That's very smart, because otherwise there's a risk of copying, and then it wouldn't be as profitable as they have been. Okay, now before I go on to the tokenomics and the ICO details which are going on now, is there anything else you guys want to let us know or let the viewers know regarding your role, Laurent, or intellectual property?
Yes, I think we should mention the link now between myself, Kakushin, and WIPO Green, and
yes,
why does it make sense? You see, at WIPO Green, we have an existing database of 3,500 registered inventors on the WIPO Green web platform.
Right.
And it's only after 2 years, so this number is growing every day when we speak. It is free. It is free and open for all inventors, investors, and IP hunters. So we are at WIPO Green about 50 to 100 registered consultants, which can be brought to the inventor to help him, each one being specialized at inventor's choice. So this is a la carte, service, like in a restaurant. By opposition to this, Kakushin Ecosystems brings a 10 meal menu, which is actually personalized in a full package in a given perspective, IP to market. So what we basically do with Kakushin is we complement what we started to do at WIPO Green in the sense that we take the inventors by the hand and we bring the inventor to the market. We bring his IP to market, and he doesn't have to care about anything else. We just tell him what to do step by step. So it is considered as an educational and financial tool as well for dedicated inventors and investors holding some IP at very early stage where nobody is today. It's a desert. So the playground is giant.
Huge. It's huge. So you understand the magnitude, crypto, that, we were talking about just 72 products, and you were saying that that's huge. Now understand, we have 3,500 inventors, so that means at least 3,500 potential products.
Yes. No, and I'm just thinking about how many patented inventions there might be just in the room that I'm sitting in that I won't necessarily know about. Somebody told me a few weeks ago about, I forget the name of the guy who invented the thermostat timer in a kettle. Before he invented that, the kettle thermostats just used to wear out or the water would all boil away. But this guy invented a device that turns the electricity off when the water's boiling. And that's, I take it so for granted. There's so many like that. If I turn this is the microphone that I'm using, a Blue Yeti microphone. There's probably components and elements in there that are patented. The radiator valves in my lounge, the flat screen TV. I could just look around, perhaps.
Yeah, you have a few thousands in your room, Rich.
That's amazing.
What I can add to this is, because this is also an important point to remember.
Yes.
Only 3% of patents are used. It means that 97 of the patents which have been filed and registered, they remain in the dust. And some of them would actually justify to be taken out of the dust, provided that we have the right methodology and the right amount of money to bring them to market. So you see, this rule is a very important one, in my opinion, because nobody cares about the 97% patents which remain in the dust.
Because people don't even know about them.
Yeah.
You could very easily pick up one of them and bring them to market, even if the patent was filed and registered 50 years ago.
Wow.
So it gives you the magnitude on the past and also on the future if we can bring a personalized service to inventors, and if we can bring them in a tailor-made way to the right investors.
Yes.
This is what Kakushin pretends it can do, and it will probably achieve it, because the competition today is almost non-existing in this particular sector.
And
Yes.
we have experts like Mr. Laurent backing up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, this is a very, very clever idea. Very clever idea with no competition. I like that. And what it is, it's the pre-sale is live right now. There's a 50% discount. You can pay with ETH, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, or Dash. There's people from the United States, Europe, everywhere. They can all participate in this. The tokens. What happens with the tokens once on the platform is I can assign them that I want to invest in this particular invention or this particular patent, and then I get a return when that product comes to market on the profit that it makes. So in that way, there's a revenue share as well as the capital gain in the coins because the tokens are in limited supply. Now, if anybody is interested, I invite you to check out the website. The links will be in the description below. Read the white paper. Do your due diligence. Don't invest any more than you can afford to lose. I have invested in this, and but if you want to use my affiliate link, you get an extra 1% bonus, and it helps me out. But you don't have to. You can go to kakushin.tech and work it out yourself. I want to thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much for making yourselves available. Is there any last word?
The only thing that I would like to mention, like somebody asked me yesterday, that why do you have so large amount of supply? Total supply is very large in the market.
Right.
And why do that? Your hard cap and the soft cap is also, it's very high. I just like to make sure that everybody understands this, that what we are doing is not cheap and easy. If it was, anybody and everybody would have been doing it.
Yes.
To bring a patent to a life and convert intellectual property into a product, you need a huge infrastructure. You need not just the investment of money, but the investment of your thought, your faith, your trust, and your time and energy to convert that intellectual property, just an idea, into a product. And that's the reason why we need that much amount of money to maintain to maintain our network. And Vipo Green provides the access to more than 150 countries when it comes to filing a patent. So you can understand. I mean, you're covering almost 50% of the globe. So it's a huge amount of money that is needed to support the infrastructure and the vision that we are having.
Absolutely. Yeah. The patents process is time intensive and expensive. I know manufacturing is certainly expensive because you need a lot of infrastructure for that and the machinery and everything. So I do get it. I want to thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laurent, for the credibility and the gravitas and also the intellect that you bring and your experience to this project. And I would invite people to subscribe. I will have more videos about Kakushin.tech, so subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, like, and also comment. Please donate your patented comments to Laurent, Chandan, and myself, and keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich, Crypto Laurent, and Crypto Chandan signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye, gentlemen.
Bye. Thank you.